Okay, so I'm making this video because one of my closest friends, favorite people on the planet, Tara Morris, who's also literally top yoga instructor in the world, she is launching her own yoga studio. And this has been something she needed to do, literally. Like, we've been talking about this for 5 years.
Yeah.
And so she just took the leap. And I know that you want to do something. And so I figured that since Tara literally just quit her full-time job to launch her own yoga studio,
yeah,
and tell everybody what you said to me when I called you yesterday, or 2 days ago. I called her 2 days ago, and I had no idea you had done this.
Well, I knew, it just got to a point where my life wasn't working. And it's like, at some point, it's like, is the spring going to be the time when I'm ready? Is next year going to be ready? Is it right after the new year? And it just got to a critical point where I was so unhappy, and it started to spill out into the rest of my life. And I knew, I know a couple things about myself. I know I'll always figure it out. I'm not afraid to ask for help, and I know people trust me because I'm good on my word. And between those things, I just had to jump. I have no money. I hadn't even signed the lease yet, and there was no other way. I knew that if I didn't jump, the excuses would continue to pile up. But if I jumped and the light was under my butt, I would figure it out.
Amazing.
I would figure it out.
Okay, so there's a couple pieces of advice here right now. So number one, if you are miserable in your life, and the way that I would unpack this is to say, if there are aspects of your life that you would not high five.
Yeah, there's an understatement.
Right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's true.
Yeah,
Isn't that like
sure.
a simple way? If you
Yeah.
think about the person that you're dating or that you're married to and you would not give them a high five.
Oof.
That's a sign. That's a wake-up call. And it doesn't mean you necessarily have to leave, but it means you basically only have a couple choices. Either you get serious about what you want and you do the work to change how you're showing up and see if that changes the dynamic, or accept the way that it is, because it's not going to change, or leave. Those are your options. There's no middle ground here. Things do not change by just giving it more time to change. That's not how the world works. So that's rule number one. So if there's an aspect of your life, if you think about walking into the job that you have, and you do not want to high five the job, you do not want to high five the person you work for, you do not want to high five what your life looks like, change it. Because that is your body and your energy telling you it's not what you're up to in your life. It's not aligned with who you're meant to be. That's why you feel unhappy. That's why you feel constrained. That's why you feel depleted. The second thing that she said that you need to take to heart is that you got to be willing to ask for help, period. Because you don't have to do anything on your own, not in today's world. And help could mean taking an online course. Help could mean asking friends to support you. Help could mean asking your parents to let you sleep on the couch or move into the basement for a couple months while you figure it out. Help could mean asking your girlfriends to watch your dogs or watch your kids or watch whatever until you figure it out. So that's another thing she said. The other thing is this is it right here. This is the money. This is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. This is what I call a high five attitude. It's an attitude that's not grounded in arrogance. It's an attitude that you have, which is grounded in optimism and faith, and this belief that through your own attitude and your own effort, you can have a positive impact on any situation. In other words, just what Tara said, you can figure it out. And so then there will come the time when you got to jump. So you can figure it out. That's your attitude. Ask for help. That's one of the things you're going to do because you don't have to do this alone. And you're right. And the next thing is you got to be willing to jump. And jump may mean that you're going to actually quit the job or you're going to leave the relationship. Or jump may mean that you're going to build a runway. And so one of the things that I really want to compliment you on is that you've been, how long have you been thinking about opening your own studio?
Since I first saw that I can gather a crowd. When I first saw that I had something unique.
Okay, and when did you realize that? Was it the
Pretty soon.
pandemic?
Okay, yeah, no. Pretty soon after I started, I've been a teacher for 6 years. People told me immediately that I should open my own thing, that I should do my own thing.
Okay, so
6 years ago.
Did you hear that, everybody? For 6 years, this has been building inside of her. And look, that's okay. Because sometimes you got to stay in something that's uncomfortable and do it in somebody else's business or somebody else's method to start to build the confidence so that you know you can figure it out, so that you know you've got the people to ask for help, so that you know you're ready to jump. And so one thing about Tara is she has been literally building a runway for 6 years. You have. And so I want you to understand that you're about to see Tara and I make a map. We're going to map out kind of what she needs to do between now and the studio opening so that she can fund her life, so that she can raise a little bit of money, so that she can get some momentum, so that she is busy putting strategic blocks in place. I want you to realize that if you're not ready to jump, all of these things are things, all of these examples that we're going to give you in the map that we're going to build for Tara, a lot of which she's already assembled, are meant to show you that it is possible to build a pathway between where you are and where you want to go. And you lay it brick by brick. And so for 6 years, keep in mind, even though Tara says, 2 days ago you quit your job?
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is fresh. But for 6 years, she has been building a runway, right? So we're building a runway, and what's the purpose of the runway? The purpose of the runway is so that the plane can actually take off. The plane doesn't take off back here. So she's been teaching. She's been building an email list. She has a website, which is we're gonna put it up for you, Love Offensive, so that you can check out Tara, so that you can take her classes, so that you can support her campaign. She's been doing retreats on her own. They're amazing. She's been doing all this stuff for 6 years so that when she was ready to go, she had built a runway to take off. And so it's important, no matter where you are, to start putting the blocks in place. Well, now that you see that, now let's talk about this. So it's pretty easy to create a map. And I like to do it visually because it's so important when you're trying to make something happen that you get out of your head and you can see it. And I'm like a super visual person. So today is, I don't even know what the date is. What is today?
The 16th.
September 16th.
Yeah.
Okay, September 16th. And when I talked to you 2 days ago, guys, 2 days ago, she quits her job, she signs a lease, she's like, Mel, I got a couple $1,000s. Like, that's what I got. Okay, so the 16th, we got, whatever. We're just gonna put like 1K. She's got more than that, but whatever. October 1st is what? When you get the
lease, I get the keys.
October 1st is when she gets the keys to her new studio space. And what is the business going to be called?
Little Rhody Hot Power Yoga.
And when are you going to open the doors so people can come into the space?
Well, hopefully as soon as possible. I think realistically in December.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And here's what I like. Here's what I want to point out. I think giving yourself some breathing room between getting the keys and actually doors open is super important. One of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make is that we rush. And we, in rushing, put way too much pressure on our dreams. And so because of today's world and because of streaming and because of technology, these are the gifts, by the way, of the pandemic. People are so used to taking classes online now. They're so used to streaming yoga classes. They're so used to using Zoom that your actual business is up and running now or can be up and running fast before the doors open. And by giving yourself 2 months, which I think is a very realistic time frame, from keys to doors open, you can now build the new runway, right? So this was the runway to be able to quit. Now we're gonna build a runway that is same thing, from right now to December 1st, right? So all these little things just become dots on the map that help you gain momentum. Pretty cool, right? And having 2 months to be able to do that, to start laying out the bricks, is exactly what's going to allow you to breathe and to be present. And that's super important because when you're giving birth to anything, when you're creating something, it's such a magical time because there's so many people that are going to be drawn to this because we are all longing for a sense of magic and vibrancy and something new. And so people are going to be excited that you're taking this on. And I want you to be able to be present and not stressed and frazzled and coming from scarcity, so that you can actually spot and witness all of the incredible things that are lining up for you.
Yeah.
Okay?
You.
Having that kind of high five mindset that life is high fiving you back.
Yes.
And being able to see the magical ways in which that's happening, it's everything. So let me share, I'm gonna have Tara share with you basically 2 things that she's done, because the second that I found out that she quit, I said, great, no problem. You don't even need to worry about the money because we're going to raise money and make money online as a way to fund your life and business before you even start.
Yes.
And we are going to also be able to utilize the 6 years of goodwill that you have built up by being everybody's, go-to yoga teacher. And you got people through the pandemic. So people want to support you. And so why don't you tell everybody what you did immediately that falls into the ask for help?
You're not really kidding with $1,000. I really jumped with absolutely no net and a faith that part of the runway is that I just constantly was where I said I would be when I said I would be there. That consistent reliability has built people to trust me.
Yeah.
So I need to turn and little by little, not ask too much from one person, but I started a GoFundMe campaign.
Great.
With an estimated cost of opening the studio, a line item of everything from a huge
60 grand, right?
Mm-hmm.
60 grand. So she started a GoFundMe campaign a day ago. How much money do you have already?
$9,000.
$9,000. And the average, it looked like the average donation was about $1,000. And so I asked her, and here's the thing, if you've already been out in the world doing good, or you have an incredible business plan, a GoFundMe campaign is extraordinary. Because none of us like to ask for help. We think we're supposed to do it all on our own. The fact is other people want to help you, especially if you've been showing up for them.
That's it.
And so a couple things about GoFundMe campaigns. There's some really interesting research that once you get to 50%, the majority of GoFundMe campaigns that are that reach 50% or more funded, they actually, like 90% of them go on to be fully funded.
Oh, nice.
And it's because people want to bet on something.
Yeah.
The other thing that you should do is put a video up. So right now, there's her page right there. I want you to put a video up. Really speaking from the heart, I want you to put a video up touring your new place and your vision, because that allows people to invest in the emotion and the vision, not just investing because of their relationship with you. Yeah. And your GoFundMe campaign will go a little bit wider, okay? So those are 2 things I want you to do. I want you to do a video, and for now, just let people donate. But if you really want to supercharge it, in about a week, send out to everybody that everybody that's donated, here's a link to a class as a thank you that you can play forever. And maybe it's a class that's for free on your Facebook page. It doesn't matter. You're just sending them a thank you. Then what I want you to do is I want you to say, for anybody willing to donate $1,500, I will give you a year membership to my new studio.
Oh, that's great.
And so or maybe it's $2,000.
Yeah.
You get a year of streaming, a year of unlimited classes. You're a part of the founders circle. Yep. So you're going to want to ask for, and this is almost like when a company raises money, you'll get X percentage company. You'll get equity in this company if you give us a certain amount of money to invest in our growth.
Yes.
And so you will then, ask for something, $1,500, whatever, $99, whatever it is that you think that is for a 1-year value. And then that allows people to double down You thank them for whatever they gave, and it allows people to double down. Now, if anybody already gave you that, write to them and say, here's what I'm going to do for you because you gave me that already. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
excellent. So that'll help you supersize this.
Awesome.
Then what you want to do is figure out how you can start, and you've already done this. So right now we've got the Gofundme right here.
Yep.
You are also now starting to stream classes where people can pay per class.
Yes, on Zoom.
Excellent. Okay. The other thing that you've done, I've noticed, is that when October 1 happens, that you are streaming and you are giving people the option to get a month, right?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the people that have paid this will automatically be part of that. Now, here's where social media comes in. I'm sure you were already going to do this, but when you're streaming those classes, make sure you're in the empty studio so that you are inviting people into the new space.
Great.
And at the end of every space, thank everybody who is part of your founder's circle, who has donated $1,500 to have access for a year or whatever you're going to charge, right? And so you've done your class, you thank everybody that paid, and say, if you're interested in becoming a member of our founder's circle, this is something that we're doing until doors open. Share it with your friends. Anybody can take yoga class. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
You got that?
Yes, yes.
Your social media strategy should be taking everybody along the journey with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Live streaming every day. Guys, I'm here. We're putting up the paint color. Do you like lilac or blue?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey, this is what happens today. Cannot thank my founder's circle enough. You want to make sure your social strategy is all about this journey. Got it? And the GoFundMe link is the link in all your social bios now.
Yes.
Got it?
Yes.
Excellent.
Awesome.
That's it.
That's great. Thank you so much.
That's it. What did you get from this?
I got a few things. I didn't think about the streaming from my space. I love that. I definitely didn't think of the founder's circle and the $1,500. That's going to just ramp it right up. That's going to just really make that us get.
And look, you could even do this. You could be like, for $5K, you get a year's membership, and you get to pick one workshop, one retreat. I don't know what your retreats cost, but you know what I'm saying?
Oh, good. Yes.
I'm
Yes.
just, that
No,
if
that's
we're going to
a
do a
great idea.
founders weekend. So for $1,500, you get classes. If you go to 3K, you get to come to a retreat that's limited to 50 people, and it's this weekend next year.
That's great. That's a great idea. I love that. I love this whole idea, because you said it looks like the average donation is 1,000. The average donation is 100. So that would that would 10 times it or 20 times it. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And I love the live streaming every day. Just that discipline.
Yes.
Just that discipline where people are really invested and feel like they're a part of it.
Yeah.
I would have done it a little bit, but I would have gotten self-conscious that no one gives a shit. And people are like, I don't care if it's blue or lilac. When
Yeah, they do.
When do you get me skinny?
No, I'll tell you what. Well, and it could be that, I want you to feel like this is a home, whether you're watching in Hong Kong and taking a class or you're coming into the studio. And I just want to show my appreciation.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that by showing you that I'm doing it, and I started with less, like $1,000 in the bank, and it's happening, that you can do it too.
Yes.
Like literally,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
what it's about.
Yes.
It's about
Yes.
that aspect of it. And so I would also make sure that once you're in here, you're teaching a class just like you would every day, and that it's streamed from your studio.
Yeah.
Cool, right?
Yeah, really cool.
Okay, awesome.
Really awesome. Thank you so much, Mel. This is great. Very exciting.
Oh, there's one more thing I want to give you, and it's from my book, The High Five Habit. I'm going to give you a copy of that too.
Good.
Hold on a second. I
Good,
want to
good,
show you
good.
something. Chapters 4 through 6 is all about the high five attitude and changing your brain from the default of, well, nobody cares about this. Like, who am I to think I can do this?
Yeah.
To, it's not going to work out, it's not going to do this, into a high five attitude, which is all optimism and faith. And so there's a little game that I teach you to play called Look for Hearts. And so I, every day, look for a naturally shaped heart. Here's a heart rock. Anywhere in the world. It could be a leaf, it could be a rock. You can have this one.
Oh,
That
that's
it could
great.
be a stain on the floor. It could be something on your coffee. And what you're doing when you look for heart shapes just naturally is you're training your mind and the filter in your brain called the reticular activity system to change in real time to show you what you tell it to show you. It's super cool. Like everybody right now and their mother sees the new Bronco everywhere, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It's because you saw one the first time, you're like, oh, that's a new Bronco. And you're a little excited, so then your brain's like, oh, she wants to see the new Bronco.
Yeah,
So then it just lets it in everywhere. So I want you to start looking for rocks or heart shapes everywhere. And every time you see a heart, go, oh my God, that was placed there for me. How cool is that? And by really feeling how cool it is in your body, it's going to make your brain really pay attention. And soon you're going to see hearts everywhere. And what I'm going to teach you through doing that is you can flip your mindset from nobody cares, this isn't working, to, oh my God, every day you start going, this is working, and here's another thing that's showing me it's working, and this is getting easy, and holy cow, the money's coming in. And yesterday it was 3 people on the live stream. Today it's 6. Oh my God, it's 11 people today? Yeah. What? That are taking the class? This is working.
Yes.
And so play the heart game.
Yes,
okay?
I love that. So optimistic.
Yeah.
So deeply optimistic.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah, you got to be your own cheerleader.
Totally.
High five, babe.
Yeah, absolutely. Love you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I can't wait to come take classes and stream and all of it.
Thank you so much. No, I love you. Thank you.
And I love you. High five.